Hello, this is Movie Guy John. This is a different view than you're probably expecting from me, and let me explain. I've been meaning to do a solo play for a while. Now, I've been inspired by YouTube channels like Scudder for Mike, Dunder Moose, and a few others. And I've been keeping an eye on things. I've been watching things, exploring, researching, and all that. And one of the aspects that struck me is using tables for storytelling. And I've wanted to do this for some time. I have a tendency to just over-prepare and try to keep preparing, keep working at things, and so on and so forth. So for this first one, I thought to just do it, it would be great if I could just get the characters made for Cyberpunk, which is the game that I'm going to try and solo play. That would be Cyberpunk Red. Now, it's a thing I am a fan of, but I don't have quite a lot of folk who like to play it. So this seems to be right for a solo play activity. Now, as you can see, I'm going to be using a combination of materials for this. The first material is the book itself, which it's been a minute since I've read this, so we're kind of going to go into this a little bit raw. Raw and wriggling! And so I'm going to kind of be learning to play as I do this. So I guess the first thing would be to get to where we're going to start. There's a lot of material here. I'm not going to bore you with the descriptions and details. What I'm trying to get to is the 3 methods. So in order to run adventures in Night City, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to create our first party, our first group, if you will. Out of the 3 methods, I think the one I want to do is the Edge Runners. Not the Street Rat. The Street Rat is template. But Edge Runners is kind of a middle ground between just full-on, all sort of stats calculated, and basically built no thought whatsoever. And this kind of gives a flexibility while being prompt. Now, I'm going to put this over here for the moment, and I apologize. The table is going to be very shaky. That's just the world we live in. That's just the kind of table I have. I'll work on it in the future if this takes off. Another resource I'm using actually for this is called the Single Player Mode, which is a solo play guide and Game Master emulator for Cyberpunk Red. Some credits. We've got it written and writing and design by Peter Norton and Jay Gray. And you can kind of see the credits here as well. Some good stuff. I've already looked through this a few times. I like what it's doing. And we're going to be using this primarily for most of what we do. But for the character creation and a lot of the rulings, we're going to be going through the book itself. So let's just get started. So I have with me here a Cyberpunk Red character sheet. I got this as part of the data packet. I went to my local game shop, tried to see what they had in terms of board game stuff, and lo and behold, they actually had printed color sheets with the nice red. So in the spirit of using the materials that you're given, we're going to do that. We're going to use these that are printed out, but if in the future we want to just randomly print out things, that's great. I'm also going to grab some dice and go from there. All right, so let's visualize kind of the first people in this meat grinder. I call it a meat grinder because that's kind of the promise. The promise is that any adventurer, these aren't adventurers, these are edge runners. Any edge runner is on the edge of glory or death. And so I want us to get started. Now, the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to pick a role. Going to page 29. We have who is our first person? Who is the first person we're going to make? For ease of communication, let's call them the first player, like the primary one. We're going to call them our primary. I myself am a bit of a nomad in terms of I came to California, the Hellmouth, to get here for film and video. So I think my first character is going to be a nomad. So we're going to start there. So set your roll ability to 4. So pick a roll. So we've got nomad. Can that be seen? Can that be seen? I hope so. It's 4K detail, guys. If not, we will deal with it. So for nomad, the roll ability is moto. Got it. Now we have to run the life path. And remember, we're doing this the edge runner style. So run the life path. Make sure you run both the general life path and your role-based life path. The personals. Let's take a look and see what's inside your punk's head besides the cybernetics. Either a D10 or a D6. Okay. We actually have with us a cyberpunk die. D10 and a D6. We will use these as our general roles. So let's start with cultural origins. This may be on the back. Pick one in your group. Got it. Let's start with, okay, so we're rolling a D10. Let us bring our trusty dice tower here. Sorry for the shakes and the quakes, but we're going to do this. That would be a 1. North American language. Let's put North American and make English. Language skill. Okay. You know what? Let's do language skill, and we begin 4 points in that language skill. Let's put 4 there. So 4 in the skill. Let's move on to personality. All right, we're gonna do this here. Personality is another D10. Let's roll that, buddy. We got another 1. Shy and secretive. I mean, that does describe me. So personality, shy. Okay, let's see what we got. Choose one, roll D10 or choose one for each column. Dress and personal style. Let's see, we're gonna roll another D10. We got this. That would be an 8. An 8. We've got gang colors. So gang colors doesn't exactly work since we're nomad. So we're going to, and this game does encourage this. So it's like, we're going to go with what matches better. Nomad leathers. All right, we got, as for an affectation, we're never without. We're rolling 1s constantly. There might be something wrong with the dice. Let's do 4 here. 4, what do we got for 4? Spiked gloves. As an affectation, I'm never without. Spiked gloves are the thing that my nomad character is all about. All right. Next on our motivations and relationships. Okay. Ooh, for clothing style, we did forget to choose our hairstyle. So let's go back and do that. 3. Short and spiked. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. 7 for motivations and relationships. So what do I value most? Love. How do I feel about most people? 4 is I hate almost everyone. I have a picture of this person already, so I hate almost everyone. Most valued person in my life. Oh my goodness, I just rolled a 10. And the most valued person in my life is no one. Okay, so this is interesting. So as someone who values love, and, as someone who values love and hates almost everyone, I have no one in my life. I have no valued person in my life. This person's character, whoever this person I'm playing is, has no one valued. maybe there's a possession that they own. Let's try that. 7, a musical instrument. What does that look like? All right, so then we roll our background. Roll the family background, your original family background. This kind of is going to flesh out kind of those things from before. 4. What's 4? A nomad pack. This is fortuitous. 4, nomad pack. So as a point of reference for nomad pack, you had a mix of rugged trailers, vehicles, and huge road combis for your home. You learned to drive and fight at an early age, but the family was always there to care for you. Food was actually fresh and abundant, mostly homeschooled. Wow, okay. Let's do your environment. What was our environment going to be? Let's roll this well. 7. Interesting. This is the first time where the rolls don't exactly work. Your childhood environment in a huge megastructure building controlled by a corp or the city. A megastructure building. You know what? Perhaps I'm going to go with this megastructure, but kind of not exactly. We're going to envision this being as something of a conglomeration of radio towers that have been transformed into a sort of place. Because in the outer wilds of Night City, just off the city reaches, you're going to have a difficult time communicating. So holding up next to a radio tower or a signal tower, data tower, might actually be good. So we're going to come back to that. So a megastructure, I'm going to write in my paper here, satellite tower. Did we have a family crisis? 7. Your family is involved in a long-term conspiracy, organization, or association such as a crime family or revolutionary group. Long-term conspiracy. You know what? I'm not exactly sure that my person would know what that is. But considering that they are at a radio tower or a signal tower of some kind, you could imagine that maybe, just maybe, that there is some corporate deal going on. Maybe with Biotechnica or maybe Arasaka. That could be big. That could be like as much as we're nomads and outside the city, maybe we are actually corrupt. Maybe my character left because of that. That's the family crisis. Let's see. Do I have a friend? 6. I don't. I have no friends. But let's roll the enemies. So we roll a d10, 3, and subtract 7. So no, we don't get to participate. We have neither friend nor enemy. There is a long-term conspiracy. I've left from general dissatisfaction. So I don't have any information. Like I don't have sweet revenge. My tragic love affairs. Do I have a tragic love affair starting this game? 2. Oh no. This is bad. This is real bad, guys. A lover mysteriously vanished. Lover vanished. My person hates everyone, believes in love. They found someone to love, and that person disappeared. But you know what? I didn't do this. I didn't do this correctly, but we're going to go with it. I should have subtracted 7. And we're just going to make it 1 because of that goof. But good to know. Good to know. Always read this. And then the wrap up. My life goal. What is my life goal? Hold on. We're not actually doing that. There we go. 1, get rid of a bad reputation. Okay. So we've got that. All right, let's go back. Roll the statistics. How does an edge runner do it? Let's go here to, hold on. Let's put a bookmark in this, and let's go to page 77. Oh, lots of tables. Oh my goodness. All right. Edge runner, fast and dirty. You once again move to the template for your character's roll. This time you'll roll a d10 for each stat individually, comparing the roll for that stat against the value on the column for that stat. All right. Let's take a look. All right. So Nomad. All right. So we got this. Edge runner, let's do it. So for Nomad, we have to roll a d10. Let's do it for Nomad, folks. First one is a 6. So that is a 6. We get a 7. 7 in intelligence. 7. Right, so let's do reflexes. A 9 in reflexes. What's that mean? 9 in reflexes. That's another 7. Wow. One more and we have a perfect number. Now we're going to go to Dex. 3. What is a 3 in Dex? 6. Okay. All right, let's do Tech. 9. 9 in Tech is 4. We're shaping up an interesting picture here. Cool. Seven for move. 7 for move is 5. And then body. Body's probably going to be important, isn't it? Let's do body. So 1 for body. 6. Not impressive, but not bad. And then empathy. 8. 8 for empathy. Another 5. Fascinating. Okay. That's great. So we've done that. We've derived the stats. Let's move on. Calculate derived statistics. See page 79. Regardless of the method you've chosen to generate, you will need to calculate 2 more values, hit points and humanity. These are your character's derived stats, called so because they derive from the original numbers of your stat block. So let's start with hit points. When your character falls to death state. Okay, so we got some information to figure out here. You have hit points equal to 10 plus 5. Your body will be averaged, rounding up. But since that math involved can be a real pain sometimes, we've made a table. A table, love it. Refer to the table below to see how many hit points your character has. Your character is seriously wounded. Threshold is at half of their total HP, rounded up. Their death save is equal to the body statistic. All right, so our body is 6. Body is 6, and our will is 6. That means our hit points are 40. 40. Probably out of 40, huh? And then 6 out of 6. Amp is 5 out of 5. Great, which means the seriously wounded is half their total HP rounded up. So if it's 40, then it's 20. And then the death save is equal to their body statistic, which is 6. Okay. So we've done hit points. Humanity is a measure of how well you interact with the world and the people in it. For every point of empathy the character has, so empathy 5, they gain 10 points of humanity. For example, a character who starts with 5 MP, that's us, would have 50 humanity. Handy table. Gotta love these tables. So we have 50 out of 50. All right. Let's get back here. We've done this. We've calculated derived. Now set the skills. How does Edrunner buy skills? 88. This is taking a while, actually. I didn't envision this would take so long. So what I'll do probably is I'll probably derive this first one manually, and then outside of the edit, through editing magic, do the other ones, and then just go over them as a coda to this video. Hot tip! You'll notice that each roll has 20 skills allotted to it. Start by dividing your 86 points by 20 to get a rough average of 4 skill points per skill. You'll have 6 extra points left over. They do the work for us, which, for the sake of this video, we kind of have to get to. So let's start here. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to move this guy out of the way. We're going to set this book down. I think we can do this. We're going to set this book down. I'm going to erase this quick. So we are nomads. Let's bring this in. Let's see if we can't do this. Bring that in. Great. These are our skills. We have athletics. And you know what? You can see it here. We're just going to start running down this real fast. Now, as a point of order, I don't really... Is this the same as my language? It's street slang. Okay. We'll have to come back to that, because I think street slang is just street slang and not language. But we'll add it on the very end of our thing. Let's do that. Local expert. Okay, so these are marked. These bolded ones must at least be level 2, so they can't go any lower than that. The rest are fair game. Wilderness. Okay. So now we've written these all down. Now we have to. Each role has 20 skills points allotted to it by 86 by 20. 4 points per skill, and you'll have 6 points left over. So let's just start putting the 4 in everything with 6 left over. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Now that looks kind of boring, doesn't it? Let's try something here. Why don't we take? We are a nomad. Our character's a nomad. They're probably going to be. You know what? We're probably going to want to up these. So if we have 6 left over, let's just mark on our sheet here. We have 6 remaining. I was writing a 6 there for no GD reason. We don't need to make the language up. We should probably, you know what? If we're nomads, we need to fend for ourselves. Let's put first aid up 1. So then we have 5. Okay, cool. Let's bring brawling up to 6. So we lose 2 more. 6. We're going to bring brawling up to 6 because you can't go more than 6. So let's bring that up to 6. So that's 4, 3. So we got 3. Now we got 3 extra to work with. Why don't we subtract something? I'm not a stealthy person, so we're going to subtract the full 2 off of stealth and bring that to its required minimum of 2. And then animal handling can stay 4. Drive land vehicles. Oh, sorry, we got 2. That's 5 again. We want to bring land vehicles up. We're going to bring that one up to 6 as well. 6. As that is now, that's 2 more, so 3. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So this is starting to look fairly interesting. And now this is, we're taking a little while. So I'm going to speed the other ones, but I'm going to break it down for you. And I'm going to do this exact same process and then come back after we get this squared away. I just want to do the first one for you. And if these characters are going to be dying a lot, I'm not going to do this whole thing every single time. This is just getting me used to the process of solo play and what that entails. And going through a book that it's been a while since I've read. I'm learning to play as I play. Let's try, you know what, I don't like, there's too many 4s. We have 3 extra skill points left we can do. Let's bring tracking. We're going to bring tracking up to 6. We're going to bring tracking up to 6. And that brings us down to 1. We have 1 extra skill point to do. Why don't we... Education is fine, but why don't we just bring that down? Let's bring that down to its 2. My character wasn't the brightest, but maybe, you know, they have more of a street smart going on here. Conversation, this is looking pretty good. Perception, local expert. Let's bring local expert up to 5. So now we have 2. Wilderness. We should bring that up to 5. 1 as well. And then let's also do perception is important. So we're going to bump this up 1. We have no more skills to move around. I think that's good enough. I really do. After we've derived those, what's next? Set your skills, which is 81, 86, 89. Yep. Record weapons and armor. Ooh, this is going to be interesting, but this takes a little bit. So I'm going to pause here briefly. Wow. The power of editing is an amazing thing, folks. I didn't actually do anything different other than I had to get some stuff done. Let's get to what's the next step on our list. We have record weapons and armor. How do you know which ones you get? Let's do it. Page 98, buddy. All right, let's take a look. Oh, folks, this is a heavy book. How you get your stuff, weapons and armor for Street Rats, templates, and edge runners. We are edge runners. Street Rat and edge runner characters get 500 Euro bucks to spend on other items or to keep and use later. You'll have the option to buy more weapons. But weapons comes equipped with. Check the list tables below and look under your character's role. Note that you may occasionally be given a choice between 2 or more options. Pick one and only one when offered the option. Yeah, okay. In addition, we get 500 Euro bucks. That's an important distinction. So we can buy more stuff with that. And I might. I don't know exactly how I'm going to approach this. So let's start with the weapons here. We've got for Nomad. If you can look over in the far corner here where my fingers are dangling, we have a heavy pistol or a very heavy pistol. Got it. A heavy pistol. It has a different damage type. Rate of fire 1, hands required 1. Can it be concealed? No. The heavy pistol can be concealed. Does my Nomad conceal their weapon? I don't know if they do. I think they want their fights to end, and they're used to things that are hardy. So what we're going to do there is deal with that. Very heavy pistol. And then basic heavy pistol ammunition. Ooh, okay, so that determines this thing. So the damage for our very heavy pistol is 4d6. Let's see, very heavy pistol is very heavy pistol ammunition. So 100. We have 100 ammo. So we got to keep track of our ammo for encounters. And that's going to be interesting too in the single player thing. Heavy melee weapon or heavy pistol? You know what? My Nomad wants a sword. Let's do a heavy melee. Oh, we didn't look at rate of fire for our weapon. So our very heavy pistol rate of fire is 1. 1 rate of fire. Boink. Rate of fire for the heavy melee weapon is 2, actually. So it's got 2, but there is no ammo for a sword. We probably found a cool sword, and we're into that sort of stuff. We're into swords. All right. What else do we got here? For armor, we've got a light armor jack, body armor. Got it. Okay, so let's armor ourselves up. Body. L, armor, J, head. Okay, that's pretty ugly writing. So sorry about that. SP on both is good. Okay, light armor jack. Does that incur any sort of penalty? No penalties. All right, cool. We got that. So we've weaponed and armored up. Record outfit. Gear, fashion. All right. How do I know what's in my outfit? That's a good question. I mean, Nomad Leathers is our clothing style. So then, now do we get some? You know what? I think for the sake of this, I'm going to pick Nomad Leathers, and that's going to be the basic. I mean, looks are everything, but I'm trying to be underestimated as a character here. So we're going to go with bottoms, top, jacket, and footwear. Those few things. I wonder. Let's do the math on this. That would be about 320. About 320 out of my 500 EB. That is, I think I would already have this. I'm going to make an assumption that you have your basics, and everything else is what you spend. So then what we need for our Nomad outfit in general is the following, and I'm going to write these down. Okay, so we have it. There we have it, folks. We have our outfit and the gear, and we've also got 500 EB. Sorry if this is hard to see. I'm doing my best to reference and also be visible. So we've got 500 EB. Next is housing. What is the deal with our housing? Here we go. So because we are not an exec, we kind of have crappy conditions. So fair enough. So it says we live in a rented cargo container in the overcrowded suburbs of the city or in a combat zone and living a not so luxurious kibble lifestyle. Okay. The first month's rent and kibble are free, Chumba, but you owe 1,100 EB on the first of next month, or you're getting evicted on the second. Okay. Interesting. So let's take a look at page 377. All right, so the kibble lifestyle is horrible food. That's great. Housing. Okay, cargo container. Yeah, that we'll explore what that looks like later. So here we go. We're gonna go cargo container, rent 1,000 EB. And I imagine my reputation is pretty much dirt. So I'm not going to fill that out yet unless I come across something. You know what? I don't think we have much more left other than possibly cyberware. Ooh. How do I know what cyberware I get? Let's look at 117. 117. If we are doing the template and edge runners, we have something worth noting here. Okay, so we have interface plugs or Wolvers, neural link. You know what? Wolvers sound interesting. What are those? Wolvers are long claws extend. Oh, basically we could be Wolverine. Can be installed as only piece of cyberware in a meat arm. Oh my goodness. That's actually kind of exciting. I can Wolverine out. But is that for both hands? No, it's one. Let's pick it. And unfortunately for us, that's going to cost 14 humanity loss. So 36, which brings us down to 3. Oh my God. Folks, this is dangerous. This is dangerous stuff. Because when you bring your humanity or your empathy and humanity down, that's dangerous for you. And you can start to heal up through therapy and things like that. But that's time consuming. And we might not have time. So we got to really play this one careful, okay? So that's not good. I was going to get more cybernetics, but I think for our person, we're done. We're done with that. I just want, I want that 500 for other things. I believe that's it. Guys, we need a name. We need a handle for our new character, the player 1 of this solo campaign. You know what? Let's take a look at this. Let's take the single player. We have some tables. You know what? Let's bring the dice back for this baby. Here, we're gonna bring the dice back, and these are D100s. So let's go. We're gonna pick our name. Well, wow. So we have 53. 53 is what? 53. Aha! Driver. That works well. I'm a nomad. I'm skilled, so we're gonna be called Driver. But what is my real name? Let's be. You know what? Maybe we've been known as Driver, and we don't know our name. Or we can just be Frank Drello. Frank Drello. Just making it up on the spot. So Frank Drello, man, what a cool guy. we're going to need to come up with a dice for this person and a color. And we're back. So I did some adjustments. I went back through the rules again, and I made myself kind of recheck a few things, and I ultimately came up with a few of the characters. Actually, our main cast for future episodes, if you will. As you'll remember, you started with Driver. Driver was our main character, our Nomad. If you will indulge me here, we assigned him the skills and stats and did all those. Those were fine. We gave him, for cyberware, we gave him a cyber arm with a cyber limb. So he's got one arm that's just robotic and really fun. For the Wolvers that I chose, which was basically Wolverine claws, that requires a cyber arm. So one of the arms gets replaced with a cyber arm, which allows it 4 slots. The Wolvers use one of the slots. And then a Neuralink also as part of the loadout for my driver, my Nomad. He's North American, English. We went through all of these, so just kind of reconnecting on those. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That is Frank. Frank Drello, aka Driver. And we're gonna mark him with a blue dice, a chill blue dice, because he is just super cool. Let's get the next person. So these are all new. Let's go through them. We've got the Hound, Jolien Ursa. She is a rocker boy. She's a musician. If we'll look back here, she's Norwegian and a bit of a bohemian, kind of more of a street artist, guerrilla performance, that sort of thing. As a rocker boy, you got to have a few different things, and chem skin is one of them, which you can kind of change the colors of your skin and hues and lights and things like that. An audio recorder, as well as an audio suite, which is kind of the main attachment internally to allow the audio recorder and so on. Also some tech hair to be able to change her hair at will. I didn't mention this for Frank, but when I made the character before, let's back it up ever so slightly, there was role-specific things. So he has got a few issues. Extended tribe as a family. His job was passenger transport and procurement, working for good, and dirty cops are gunning for him. And so then for our friend here, the Hound, she's a street artist, guerrilla performances, and romantic interest and revenge, which, if we look, she has some tragic love affairs. One of them didn't work. One of them had a personal goal conflict, which could be that revenge thing. It's hard to say. And one went cyber psycho. And so, kind of a good start. So we've got Hound. Hound, let's find a new color for her. We're going to do yellow. Yellow for Hound. So we'll kind of keep that in mind, that dice in mind for it. That'll be our pal Hound. And then we have Obsidian, the Netrunner. He'll be very valuable. His name is George Takumi, and he hails from South. His origin is Southeast Asian, Vietnamese. He does do the street slang, so he's able to communicate with the crew. A bit arrogant, a bit aloof, out to get what's his. And his family has some loss through betrayal. He had a partner, and it's unclear who that partner might be. And so maybe I'll graph that onto one of the people that we have in our party. Because once we actually start things, what I'll do is I'll set up their relationship with each other. Why the 4 of them are working together. Let's see, he cracks systems for fun. He had a partner, an old friend. That could be someone who worked with him. Sleeps with filthy bed and wires, works for his own self, sells data. He works with a local fixer to trade work for programs so we can get that connection in. And people gunning for him might be some old clients who they think screwed him over. Who they think screwed them over, sorry. So, I mean, there's some connections there. He has some enemies. A government official and a particular booster ganger. He humiliated the booster ganger, and the government official caused this Netrunner to lose face. So there's some issues there that we can all kind of figure out as we go along. But it does set a good picture. We're going to use black with red on there as our dye. That'll be our dye to kind of keep track of him. And finally, last but not least, our our edge runner named Final, Mayuki Ott. She is a solo and pretty much a gun-heavy, a gun-toting, rootin'-tootin' violence machine. East Asian, so Mandarin would be her language. Let's see. Enemies, she had a former employee that she set them up and caused them to it's hard to tell what could have happened, but she screwed over an employee that she had, and she had an ex-lover who deserted her. And that could be a problem coming up, but it's not like super serious, just that might be who is gunning for her in the course of this adventure, this campaign, and it might ultimately prevail. She's a local vigilante for hire. She tries to do good, but has a very loose grasp on ethics, and hangs out in kind of a single corpo territory. That's kind of it. As far as the cyberware goes, she's got a neural link and a Sandevistan, which if you've watched Edgerunners, the anime, that's kind of a whole focal point. So yeah, we're going to be using that. That's pretty cool. Also got a biomonitor to read out of vitals, and that neural link with other options. We're going to make her white, just because it's distinct from the other colors, and it's a good means of keeping track and visually. So there you have it. Really, this is kind of my first time doing this solo play. I took a long time for the very first character. It took me a long time to go through all the resources and materials. That was part of the process, and it's pretty clear that it's been a minute since I have read any of this. And so it's a learning experience. Now, compared to some other things, a lot of the single player mode is going to end up being run from this book as, maybe our first mission will just be a job. Nothing too crazy. I'll probably use the rolling for missions thing, and we'll get something going as like a softball toss, if you will. I'm teaching myself solo play and how to make solo plays with this. So I'm sure there's going to be things I've missed, details I'm getting not quite right. Maybe even creating some of these characters there might be something missing, or if you're trying to copy what I do, you find a mistake or something I didn't quite get. And I can clarify anything in the comments. But yeah, let's get to some edge running here, folks. And I'll see you very soon.